Okay.
Hello everyone. Welcome to FTS slash FTS, Voices from Constituents. FTS is a platform that I thought of for the community, for our people to come together and make change, bring solutions to the table for our communities, for our children. I have a special guest here tonight. My nephew Dontae Jones will be speaking about the injustices that he's personally experienced in his life. I also have a very personal friend of mine and part of FTS, Dina. As time go on, you'll get to know Dina, you'll get to know Geeka, and you'll also get to know Dontae, and hopefully we'll get to know a lot of more people because we need you to come with us to stand like our brother over in Jersey, Hove, and you have to know FTS is raw and uncut. So I have to go real quick to punch up his page because this brother is fighting and he's standing for something. And I think a lot of you guys and women, since we fight for equality, it's not just him. I'm sorry, Hope. I've been so busy. Um, G Hove, we out here, day 2, 16 minutes. He's asking people to pull up. He's in Jersey. What part? I don't know. But G Hove, FTS is trying to connect with you and come and stand with you. And we will be coming soon, so look for us. Okay, my time is up for now. I'll introduce Dina and turn it over to Dina.
Hey guys, listen. Tamika has been on this mission and this plight for some time. I've listened, I've paid attention, I followed her. But every time, I'll tell you the reason why I got started and being active in it is because every time I turn on the news, it's black and brown people dying. For whatever the reason is, not just because of the police, but because of the drug addiction, especially with the fentanyl, and it's our people. So I felt like I could be able to be some type of help for FTS. That's basically it for me. Tamika.
Okay, while Dina was talking, I just pulled up G Hove. He's at 808 Ross Avenue, Summersdale, New Jersey. Day 2, remain Maggie Fruit to the Camden County Correctional Facility. G Hove is standing, and he's standing alone like I stood alone before Dina came, and before my other assistants that's behind the scenes that's helping me get to where I'm at came along. G Hove stood alone. He has crowds out there with him standing because the judge out in New Jersey allowed, FTS is not racist, let's get this clear, but we not standing for no racist shit neither. They let this white girl home, young white girl that attempted to murder 2 children in a daycare. They let her home. So he's out in front of her house until they rearrest her because they wouldn't let it happen for one of our black or brown girls if they did some crazy stuff like that in one of these daycares. So shout out to G Hove. I'm coming. Just know I'm coming. We're coming. We'll be there. Okay, now we're going to take this and hand this over to Dontae because Dontae got something very, very interested to say, and I'm interested in hearing it. Everybody, my nephew, Mr. Dontae Jones.
So what's going on, Auntie?
Welcome to FTS. You now a part of FTS. And I just would like to ask you about some of the injustices you received
That's
in the
the
prison system.
that's the beauty of it. It's not just myself who's received or been at the wrong end of these injustices, and for anybody to ever subscribe to the notion that from the streets for the streets is a racist publication or whatever. You got to just listen to the subject matter. Like it's not just a black people thing anymore. Poor is the new black. I know plenty of whites that don't have political ties, that don't have family in a police force or whatever, and they getting snaked over just as much as the black and browns. They might get a little more pass because of the complexion. They got complexion connection. However, I mean, the system has changed. So it's like it's different levels though. Just like even within the black community, like I mean, the colorism and all that. Like,
Okay, so let me ask you this. What is this that I heard you talking about as far as with the parole and the probation and how the system works with that?
Yeah, so I just came across some information about 6 months ago while I was still incarcerated at the time that the parole agents in Pennsylvania, well, in Philadelphia to be specific, they were getting $150 incentive for each individual on their case that they reconvict. I mean, already recommitted.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, like
So that means if they violate you and send you back to prison, they would get an incentive for
what
that?
that mean is, say, for instance, you got a diverse type of like parole system out here. You got many men, many women, parole agents. Say, for instance, I had a woman parole agent. Say she had a nice little event to go to. She wanted some new shoes. Like, damn, new shoes gonna cost me $900. So I'm gonna have to, book at least. I mean, like.
Oh,
Wow.
so that's basically
Yeah, ain't no doubt.
like everything is business in Philadelphia and in every city. Everything is business. So I know a lot of things that's going on, but to my
she already
knowledge,
got
this
the
is
6
new.
people lined up that she's going to book ahead of time, whether they had bad encounters or not, because there are so many stipulations with parole. You don't have to commit a new crime to have your parole, taken away or revoked or whatever. It's a contract. All it is a contract, and we sign that to get out. Like nobody wants to stay incarcerated. So it's a contract, but we got all these rules. Like you know how it go. Like I know real ones that been hit up and sent back. Like any contact with the police, that's a violation of parole. Like so, there's so many little rules that they can pick and manipulate and justify violating, even though it may not be a violent threat towards society. Like,
So what is some of what are some solutions
so,
that you might have that we might can put together and present to the parole board or whoever it is that we have to take it to make some changes so other young women and men don't have to be caught up in the business aspect of the parole board and the probation officers and how they make their extra money.
so the solutions in my mind that will be like there's different solutions. You got some realistic solutions. You got some hopeful solutions. But to be honest, like a lot of them are, you know, you have to be optimistic and cautious no matter which way you proceed. Like I would proceed in the manner of getting actual change. Like if I were to go about it, I would establish a type of act where we all come together during voting times. So our votes matter. All judges had to be voted into their position, into their seats. The common person, the everyday laid man or woman who's going through the struggles of life, trying to pay for bills, trying to keep up, with insurance, this, that, and the third, children, grandchildren, whatever, like the financial obligations, whatever. They don't have the time to really be as informed as one who really knows. No, like judges or lawyers. They were previously lawyers, no matter they were defense attorneys, civil attorneys, DAs, assistant DAs, and whatnot. They have to be voted into office as a judge. Judges make a lot of money. The major people that vote for judges, not just in the city of Philadelphia, not just every major metropolitan, it's like across the board. The Fraternal Order Police, they put in the most votes, so they carry the most sway. Like say for instance, I don't know the specific numbers how much a judge make, but I'm almost certain they start off making anywhere between $1,200 an hour. That's starting off.
Six figures.
Yeah, so they're paying for boarding schools for children, grandchildren, this, that, and the third. Some judges might have a bleeding heart. They might know they roofing like individuals that look like me and you. Okay. However, it's political. It's like damn, they heart is broken. Like damn, I gotta roof this young lady or this young man, or But if I don't stick with the Fraternal Order Police and do what they're requesting, I'm no longer a judge. Kennedy gonna get my seat. Kennedy pushed for my seat for 6 years. Okay. Like it's real political, but this is how they eat. That's their bread and butter. So they gonna vote with whatever the FOP say go. Like until our people come together and get out and vote, whether we gotta get a little app or whatever, all right, you off on this day or whatever, just pull up randomly, to either vote for the judges, or on other shit, like pull up randomly at somebody's court venue. Like that support, like the people actually in that courtroom, that aren't afraid to be seen with the defendant or whoever fighting the case or whatever, it do have an impression on the court.
It does. I went to court every day for Andre, and they was trying to roof him every day. And I let him know in the hallway in the courtroom. I let him know, not this one, and they didn't do it. They didn't do it. Wow, they knew. They knew. They knew not to do it. I said, not this time. You are not doing it. And I looked the judge in her face every day through his whole trial. I didn't let nobody sit near me. Every day. Not him. Not this one. Every day. Every day. And guess what? They found him not guilty. I wasn't having it. I wasn't having it. Okay. Now, I need to know some street solutions that you can think of. I understand you just coming home, so
it's a lot of street
how do you feel? You haven't even been home a month yet. No, how do you feel? How do you feel coming back out into society? What is it like for you?
After 15 years, it was 10th Street. Then I came home for 28 days.
For a month.
Yeah, I came home for 28 days, and I can break that down, but I don't want to bring that your whole segment down or whatnot.
This is our segment. This is our segment. It's not my segment.
It's not just our segment. It's for the streets.
It's from the streets. Like if you from the streets, then you supposed to be trying to get here.
Tap in.
You supposed to be trying to tap in. Right. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. We got a lot of solutions, but it's just us. We need y'all to come sit with us and with these solutions we have, so we can make some changes.
And you got to be prepared. Like, and no matter how, the major thing I want to get to is like when it comes to our people, like, blacks and browns, the poor, the other minorities and shit, you have to be aware that they're going to come at you harder than they come at people that are more like themselves. No. Like the strongest hold they got is nepotism. That's, putting family in position of power or whatever because you got power, keeping that going or whatever, even though it may be unethical in certain, employment situations or whatnot. Like all these jails, the way the jails are structured. Like look at where they're placed. Like Florida. All right, Florida's gross national product as a state. They get their most money in taxing the transport of oranges all around the world. Okay. California, wine country, like grapes. Even if it go, whether you saying wine or grapes, California like grapes. That's like their gross national product. Pennsylvania's is prisons.
Wow.
Prisons. Okay. Well, we just had like 32, 33 prisons open at one time before they shut down Crescent and Greensboro and you know, like we had like 30. The nigga Trump, the nigga Obama, a lot of them niggas like, yo, I'ma just put a fence around Pennsylvania before they got in office. Like, yo, if I go to I'm gonna just put a fence around it. This is how they making the money, putting these jails out in these small rural areas where they have family, they have friends they may have come up at. And it's hard to make it out of those areas. For some people, if you don't have a skill or a talent,
give
you're
them a
not gonna
job.
make it
That's
in the
how
world.
they get their job.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Like
how they
them,
get
these
their
jobs,
job.
the criteria ain't that hard. Like, you know, I respect people that's getting their bread. Don't get it fucked up. Like I got something against COs, whoever, law enforcement. Like, get your bread. Like, I know how that shit, I mean, is. Like, you know how you playing, I know how I'm playing. Like, you know, the reality is, it's deeper. It's a system that's set up. Like, it's deeper than just the individual
Exactly.
CEOs and all that shit.
It's the
But then the
system.
system is flipped. So people blame it on the system, but then the system is operated by individual people. Like, you know, and everybody got their own biases. Like, you know, like everybody giving it up different. Everybody has a different lens on life, a different kaleidoscope, but it's money. So they put these jails out there in these small areas, like, you know, so anybody in this area that qualifies can get a job. Like, they hate it when people that's not from those areas, like it's a lot of brothers and sisters of multi backgrounds, multiracial, ethnic backgrounds that get these jobs as CEOs or whatever. Like the guards have been working there for years, got family time. Like they be trying to get them out the way.
They don't want the black people in there.
If you a woman, any type of woman, or a person of ethnicity, trying to be a guard in them Jones, like the guards,
Upstate in
upstate in PA, yeah. Like, you know, because like I mean, you know, certain people are openly racist, certain people, I mean, are hitting, some people like are oblivious to it. Like, you know, but they be trying to get them out the way because they look at it like, dang, you still in jobs. Little Jimmy's retarded as fuck. But little Jimmy got his 8th grade diploma. Like, little Jimmy don't got no messed up criminal background. Okay. Shit, I'm the sheriff out there. If anybody get in trouble, they got to go through me. You think you're going to book little Jimmy? So now little Jimmy, even though he's not capable to survive in the world, get him a job as a CO.
With the black people.
They getting top dollars from the ring.
So now he can drink beer when he get off and just come to work and harass the black people.
I mean, you know, it's just different. It's like politics, you know what I'm saying? Like they be at their own politics in there. They be trying to get the people, ethnicity, and the women out the way. Like the women ain't bending to their desire. Like, say for instance, you know, something simple. Like, you know, everybody know 80% of communication is nonverbal. So that's like, you know, the body language, like peeping cues and all that. Like it's just little simple shit. Like if a woman that's working there doing her job, just sticking to her job, if she's not giving these male guards that attention that they're desiring, and they think she gave an inmate a smile or some shit, I mean, because they teach the females when they come here, yeah, these guys will manipulate you, they'll do this, that, and the third, blah, say, blah, watch out. You being manipulated by niggas feed you the scrap. You feel
right? From the rep, from them telling you that.
Ain't no doubt. So now their whole thing is these dudes don't really got much pull in the real world. They don't know how to communicate with women, none of that. Like, you know, so if they desire these women, these women, unless you married to one of the guards in power, I mean, are related to the motherfuckers, if you a woman, you got a rough paper out in that thing. Because given the advances, as the CEOs, like, I mean, like, no, they be trying to knock them off. They be trying to knock the females off. They be trying to knock the people of color off.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so,
okay.
You know, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Dontae, you mentioned voting, right?
Right.
So what is your solution on us coming together to vote? Because, you know, when
this
you don't
right here,
vote,
listen,
it's a vote against us.
You can't change nobody's belief, nobody's opinion. Either something is in them or it's not. Right. Like, this is from the streets for the streets. Like, you know, like, y'all, listen, like,
it's in me.
Right.
It's in me because this is where I've been since I was 9. And when I say from the streets, that doesn't mean I lived in the streets. For the people that's maybe quote unquote on a different level and don't understand street language, from the streets mean you literally was on your feet in the community on the ground all through the community.
Yeah.
So that's the streets. You get to learn every corners that you might ride past into your upper class neighborhood or wherever you live at. Or you might just go to the trolley and go back home. From the streets mean you know practically every alleyway, every street corner. If you got to get away from somewhere, you know which way to go. You know how to get under a car, get in the alleyway, jump in the backyard. If you from the streets, then that's what you know. For the streets is when you've been in the streets over 30 something years and you've seen a lot of things and you experienced a lot of injustices and you put everything out in front of you and you pick a side. So that's when from the streets, for the streets came for me. Because I learned so much in the streets, it's going to take a lot of segments for you guys to get it. But you're going to get it. And hopefully you get it to where as though we come together. Because this is my biggest message. We're not going to get nowhere if we don't come together. I can't stress to anybody that look at this video to go watch G Hove. Look him up. He's in Jersey. He's a black brother and he's making moves. He's making moves to where the police called him before he came out to a spot that he was planning on going to. And when he got there, they was lined up. They done already shipped the white family out to a hotel. And he asked the white people, if that was a person of color, would y'all be blocking the entrance and lined up to protect them? Like, people, we got to come together. That's the only way anything is going to work. So, again, I'm not going to go in and name in different platforms. I know about all of you ones, especially the ones in Philadelphia, with your 30,000 and your 40,000 followers, and you're talking about changing the community, but you're not talking about coming together. If you come together with your platform, with the other brother with his platform, and with the other brother and the sister with their platform, and we come together with our platform, and we all stand together in one spot at one time, then we can make some changes and see some stuff get done. Until then, FTS will still be pushing, even if we got to start in Jersey and bring Jersey to Philly to stand with us. We're not going to stop, and we're not going nowhere.
Thank you. Thank you. At one point you had